Seems like there's no end to it.
Oh, let's take a bit of a break, huh?
Good idea. I'm about half played out myself.
Oh, good evening, Sheriff.
Adam, how are you?
Hi, Roy.
Roy?
Ain't there enough daylight for you cartwrights anymore?
Huh? Oh, well, we ran into a rock slide on the way into town. It took about 4 hours to clear the road. Lem here was good enough to stay open so we could load the wagon.
I didn't figure it was robbing old Lem here.
Seems like a quiet enough night, Roy. You heading home?
Well, not yet a while. There's still a few dark corners that I got to poke into. Well, good night, boys. Hope you don't run into any more rock slides.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Sheriff.
Come on, let's get to work and finish up, huh?
Right.
Come on, let's see a little faster now.
You're covered, mister. Hold it right there. Now step down off that horse slow and easy. Come on.
Come on! Let's get out of here! The whole town is here!
Oh, my leg! They was trying to rob the express office. One of them rode his horse right over me.
Get the doctor, hurry.
Right. Good job of plastering. Miss McCalling. Yeah. That ought to hold you till you get to San Francisco.
Doc, I don't feel like rambling all over the countryside with this thing on my leg. You done a pretty good job of
Now, look,
patching
Roy,
me
you heard the doc. Condition your legs in, there's only one man this side of St. Louis can put it right again, and he's in San Francisco.
Now, you either make that trip or you could spend the rest of your life on a crutch.
Yeah.
Well, you put it that way, and I guess it ain't such a hard choice to make.
I'm going out and get a little breakfast. Can I bring you something?
Doc, I got a lot of things to do. How long do I have to stay here?
Until that cast sets good and hard. I'll bring you a plate of ham and eggs, all right?
All right, thanks.
That looks pretty good. Oh, come on now, Roy. You'll be back in no time.
Ben, would you do something for me?
Sure. Name it.
Put that badge on till I get back.
Oh. Now, Roy, you're not being serious.
I was never more serious in my life.
Oh, I couldn't do that. Well, the people of Virginia City be saying the Ponderosa's coming into town and taking over.
People would say no such of a thing.
Oh, yes, they would. Yes, they would.
Well, what they would say is that I picked the best man for the job.
Well, I do thank you for that, Roy, but I don't believe it'd be the right thing for me to do.
You don't think so? No. Well, one of your boys, then. Any one of them could handle
the same thing, don't you see?
But somebody's got to take over while I'm gone. This town needs the law.
Well, there must be plenty of other men to do the job.
For instance?
Well, Ed Prentice?
He's away on a cattle drive.
Phil Cassidy.
They put him on as a foreman at the mine last week, and I'm sure he wouldn't want to trade them big wages for a sheriff's pay.
No.
How about that young fellow with that little starvation spread out BU? What's his name again?
Oh, you mean, Asa Moran.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's,
Yeah, now, so long as it's out your way, would you mind talking to him and making sure he'd take the job?
Well, Roy, we haven't been exactly the best of neighbors of late. Ever since he had that run-in with Adam.
What run-in?
I guess it started a few years back when they were both showing bulls down at the stock show, and I guess Moran didn't take too well to Adam running off with the blue ribbon. Then, of course, there was...
Ben, what would that have to do with whether or not he makes a good sheriff? Huh?
Nothing. Nothing at all. All right. I'll talk to him. Now, will you just rest easy? Everything's going to be all right.
I will now.
Drink of water?
Thanks.
Oh, morning, Asa.
Hi, Hoss. One of your riders stopped by and said your pa wanted to see me.
Come on in.
Thank you.
I'll go get Paul. You want a sandwich?
Oh, no thanks. Say, Hoss, do you know why your pa wants to see me?
No, I ain't got no notion.
Well, last week, 6 or 8 head of my stock got into your pasture land. I was wondering if your pa was sore at my scrub stuff mixing in with his fancy purebred cattle.
Oh, Asa, you know better than that. Paul ain't the kind of feller to jump on a man about something that couldn't be helped.
Asa, glad you could ride over. How you feeling?
Fine, just fine, thank you.
Good, good. Oh, son, would you mind letting Asa and me have a little private conversation here?
Sure, Paul. See you, Asa.
I'll sit down.
Thank you.
Well, how things going?
Oh, well, you know how it is, Mr. Cartwright. It's a struggle. Always seem to be coming up a day late and $1 short. But I'm not complaining.
No, I know that. Asa, how would you like to take on a temporary job? Make yourself a little extra cash.
I don't know at all. What sort of job?
Well, you heard what happened to Roy Coffey.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Roy and I were talking about, somebody to fill in while he's getting well, and... Well, how'd you like to take it on?
What do you mean? You mean me being sheriff?
Yeah. Well, just until Roy gets better.
I don't know. It's kind of sudden. I mean, why me? I never wore no badge before.
No, but well, you're a steady young fella, and you're able, and, well, Roy thought you could do a good job of it. And so do I.
What about the people in town? They don't hardly know me. What would they think?
Well, I guess that sort of depends on what kind of job you do.
Well, yeah, I guess that's right. I swear to uphold and enforce the laws of Virginia City to the best of my conscience and my ability. So help me God.
Congratulations, Asa.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff.
You bet. Now, here's your badge.
Thank you.
Here's the keys to jail.
Thanks.
And there's the keys to the office.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Sheriff Moran.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Cartwright?
Congratulations.
I don't know very much about this sort of thing, but I'll sure try to do as good a job as I can.
We know you will, Asa.
Oh, there's one more thing. You're entitled to a deputy if you want one. It might be a good idea.
Oh? Well, I wouldn't rightly know just who to pick. Say, How about Charlie Fitch, my hired man? Do you think he'd do?
That's your choice to make, Asa.
Oh, I know he's not very bright. But he's big and strong, and he'll do anything I tell him to do. Do I bring him here to have you deputize him, or?
Well, I'm leaving for San Francisco in just about 2 minutes, but I'm sure Judge Jackson there will do it for you.
Or if you prefer it that way, you're empowered by your office to do your own deputizing.
Well, I'll just look him up then. I certainly appreciate your show of confidence in me. Thank you.
Good luck.
Hope you have an easy trip, Sheriff Coffey.
Thank you, Asa, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Take it easy now.
No, that all right.
Watch some steps.
Yeah, Sheriff.
Bye.
Good luck.
Oh, I'll have a good time there.
Yeah, they'll fix him up real good. Now, easy getting in there.
Yeah, who we got for a driver?
Old Jake here, the best.
Hello, her.
Up we go. There we are. Roy, you write to us. Let us know if you need anything.
I'll do that. And don't worry about Asa. He's going to be all right. Ben, you've been just wonderful about this whole thing. And you two, Adam, goodbye.
All right.
Bye, folks.
Now, you take it easy with him now. Don't shake him up too much.
Here, let her go.
There you go.
Take a real man to fill his boots.
More of a man than the one we have?
I didn't say that.
Well, this is Ace's first chance to show what kind of a man he really is. Let's see if we can give him a fair shake.
Fine.
Asa! Asa! What's the matter with you?
I was just down by the express office. There's 2 horses in the alley. I think someone's in there.
Charlie, are you sure?
Yeah, don't you think we better check?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
There are the horses, Asa.
Somebody in there, all right. I can just make out a light coming through the door.
What are we gonna do, Asa?
Well, you get by the front door, in case they go out that way. Now, when you're all set, I'll give a yell for them to come out. Whichever way they go, we'll get them.
All right.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Better let me have the big one. You've been in the express office. You come out of there, because we got the place surrounded. Now, no tricks. You throw your guns out and come out through that door. That's good. Now, you come right out where we can see you.
Coming out, don't shoot. Willie! What'd you do that for? He wasn't gonna do nothing.
Stay where you are.
We threw our guns out just like you asked.
Don't move.
You didn't even give him a chance.
My gosh, Asa.
I killed him, Charlie.
Sure did. You sure killed him, Asa.
I had to, Charlie. You know that, don't you? I had to do that. You know it.
Sure you did, Asa. You're the sheriff.
About time you got back. What took you so long?
I've been doing what you asked me to do, down at the express office listening. And Judge Jackson and the man that ran the place were there, and they were sure interested in everything that went on last night. They were asking a lot of questions.
You tell them what I said? About those two hold-up men trying to jump us? That's why I had to kill them?
I told them something like that.
Something like that. Now, you tell me, what did you say exactly?
I told them that it looked like those men were trying to fight. At a time like that, a man ain't got time to stop and think.
Did folks believe it? The way you told about it? Did they believe it?
I don't know. Judge Jackson's got a way of looking at a man that sends a chill clear through you. That's why I left when I did. Asa, do you think they're gonna believe us?
They'd better believe it. And you'd better remember, when you're asked, those two men tried to jump us. And we stick to it. Judge Jackson, anything wrong?
Sheriff, the express agent just got a telegraph message from the head office of the company about what happened last night.
Oh, yes, about those two men.
That's right, Sheriff. They offer hearty congratulations for a job well done and authorize payment of this reward.
Reward?
$200 gold. Congratulations, Sheriff. Roy Coffey knew what he was doing when he picked you for this job.
Good work. Good work. All right. He sure did.
Lou, might as well take the horses over to the wagon shop. All right, Mr. Cartwright. They're going to pull that new wagon back to the Ponderosa. They might as well get used to it.
Well, we'll be in the saloon. When you get through, come back and I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah. By golly, Adam, I'll take you up on that. Good.
Well, drink it up, boys. Drink up the red eye. Hooray for summer doings, huh? Well, now. Well, looky here. Here's the man that talked me into the job. Come on, Ben. Adam, I'll buy you a drink.
What is this, Asa? Some kind of celebration?
Well...
You haven't heard it? Ace is just about the biggest man in town.
Oh, now, Vicky.
Well, it's true. Asa shot it out last night with two men who were robbing the express office, and he killed them both.
Well, I don't take no pleasure in killing folks, but then they shouldn't ought to make no fight of it. See, I was all for taking them alive, but when this one come at me with his gun and the other tried to draw down on me from behind, well, there was nothing I could do. Isn't that right, Ben?
Oh, sure, Asa. Sheriff has a right to defend himself.
You don't think I did anything wrong, do you?
No, Asa, I don't think you did anything wrong.
Adam, what do you think?
There's nothing else you could do.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that. Well, come on now, sit down. I'll buy you a drink. Hey, bartender, bring some drinks here for my friends, the Cartwrights.
Well, that's nice, Asa.
There we are.
Oh, your money's no good here today, Asa.
What?
This one's on the house. Toast to the new sheriff, Asa Moran.
Thank you. Well, I gotta get going. I got me some shopping to do.
Oh, Asa.
Huh?
Don't you spend all that reward money in one place now.
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm gonna buy me some store-bought clothes. These old rags of mine are just about wore out.
He's really enjoying it, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. He's got a right to, seems like.
You believe it happened the way he said? Big blazing gun battle?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. And neither were you, Adam.
Oh, hi, Lou.
Hi, Vicky.
Oh, everything ready, Lou?
Ready. The thing ain't even finished yet. They say now they won't be able to get to it till the morning.
Oh. Now, sit down, Lou. Well, I guess you better stay in town overnight. Bring the wagon out in the morning. No use in making two trips.
That's fine by me, Mr. Cartwright. Say, I saw Asa Moran as I came over here. That badge makes his chest stick out a mile.
It's not just a badge, Lou. He's a hero, didn't you hear?
No, is that right?
Yep.
Asa, sure looks like you got yourself a ride on the glory road today.
Anything wrong with these clothes?
Well, Ace is a new sheriff, and he's got to dress the part, Lou.
What's so funny, then?
Nothing. I was just thinking what an awful big letdown it's going to be for you when you have to come on down to earth and be plain old Asa Moran again.
Lou, you may have just made yourself one real first-class enemy.
Oh, Asa, you sure scared me. Well, ain't you the dude? See, you got a set of new store-bought clothes.
You got something to say about the way they look, too?
Well, gosh, no, Asa. I think they look fine.
Well, then you just better start calling me Mr. Moran.
What? Why, Asa?
I said Mr. Moran. That Lou Palmer, working for the Cartwrights, has made him as uppity as them.
You ain't had no trouble with the Cartwrights, have you?
Not yet, Charlie. Not yet.
I wouldn't go hunting no trouble with the Cartwright. They're a pretty close family. You take on one of them, you got to take on them all.
I'm not scared of no Cartwright.
One or all of them.
You better remember one thing, Charlie. I'm the sheriff of this town, and there's many a thing a sheriff can do.
What do you mean?
I swore an oath on a Bible to uphold the law in this town. That means going up against anybody who tries to break it, whether his name is Cartwright or anything else.
You ain't expecting no Cartwright to go breaking the law, are you? They're law-abiding people.
They better be, Charlie. They sure better be.
Well, I'm sure glad that wagon wasn't ready. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here this evening drinking beer with a pretty girl.
Oh, thank you, Lou. I didn't know you thought I was pretty.
Well, sure. Ain't I never told you that? Well, even if I never did, a girl sure ought to know when she's pretty. I mean, when she's real pretty, the way you are.
Oh, Lou, you're nice. We were just sitting here having a beer.
I was hoping you'd be alone.
It was very nice of Lou to invite me to have a beer with him. Would you like to sit down and have a beer, too? Lou wouldn't mind.
Sure, Asa, sit down. No hard feelings. Let me buy you a beer.
If you can't tell him, Vicky, I can. Go home to the Cartwrights, Lou.
Asa. Asa, I think you're the one that ought to go home. I'll be here tomorrow.
Tomorrow ain't good enough. Now, if you want to be my girl like you was acting this afternoon, I don't want you associating with the likes of him.
Well, where did you get the idea I want to be your girl?
What's wrong with me, anyhow?
By you threatening me. Why, you yellow-livered swamper. You forget you ain't got the Cartwrights to back you up.
I don't need the Cartwrights to take care of you.
You're under arrest for striking an officer of the law.
Somebody's coming. Kind of early for visitors, isn't it?
Whoever it is, reckon why I don't knock.
Might be a good idea if somebody went to see.
Yeah.
Paul! It's Lou! Lou! Get some brandy, get some brandy. Put him down on the counter.
Here you go, Pop. I'll get some bandages.
Get some hot water, too.
Lou can hold his own in a fight with anybody. He's been pistol whipped.
Who'd have done this to Lou?
Well, who did this to you now? You didn't get hurt like this in a plain old fight.
No.
Who did it?
Asa. Asa Moran.
Paul, what are we going to do about it?
Well, first we'll take care of Lou. Go right into town and see that new sheriff of ours. Hurry up with that water. Well, look, I'll go in and talk to Asa. You boys take care of the horses. We'll be here for some time.
I'd like to talk to Asa, too.
Not till you simmer down. Take the horses over to the livery stable. Asa?
Hello, Ben.
What happened, Asa? Why did you do that to Lou Palmer?
Do what?
Beat him near to death?
What do you mean, beat him near to death? He was resisting arrest, and I had to take him in.
What did he do that was against the law?
Tried to kill me. I guess that's against the law, ain't it?
That isn't the way Lou said it.
I don't care what he said. He's a friend of yours. Now, you told me that a lawman's got the right to defend himself. And that's exactly what I was doing. Now you're gonna tell me I ain't got the right to defend myself against friends of yours?
I'm telling you that you don't have the right to use that badge as an excuse to pistol whip a man.
Now, you listen to me, Cartwright. This badge gives me the right to do anything I want.
Within the law.
That's right.
Judge, you didn't see him. I did. And I'm going to tell you something. There's absolutely no excuse in the world for this sort of thing.
Ben, Sheriff Moran has already told me about that incident.
Nobody has.
He told me that this Lou Palmer was annoying one of the girls in the saloon. And that when the sheriff told him to go home, he started a fight.
Fight? Judge, don't you understand? He was pistol whipped within an inch of his life. Are you saying that the sheriff is lying about what happened?
George, Lou came into my house. I saw his face. It was half bashed in. Now, he told me exactly what happened, and I believe him.
Ben, I've got Sheriff Moran's official report right here about what went on. Your man was wild and disorderly in the saloon. He actively resisted arrest. It was necessary for the sheriff to subdue him. But, out of deference to the fact that he works for you, he released him, sent him home, instead of locking him up.
Oh, yes, he sent him home, all right. Sent him home half dead. Now, look, George, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. Moran has to be relieved of duty until there can be a complete hearing on this.
I'm afraid that would be a very serious mistake.
Why?
It would appear to be an official criticism of Moran's action.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, but we have absolutely no evidence to merit such criticism. I'm sorry your man was hurt, Ben. But I have absolutely no reason to believe that Moran's action was anything more than a legal and justified act on the part of a qualified law officer.
I keep telling you I was nowhere near this place last night. So how could I know what happened?
Well, Asa didn't tell you about it, huh?
He don't tell me everything he does. Mr. Moran's pretty busy. He's got a lot on his mind these days.
Yeah, I bet he has. Those two dead men. You were there when they were killed, weren't you, Charlie?
Sure I was.
Right in the middle of all that shooting.
Well, I wasn't right in the middle of it. I was off a ways, but I could see it all good enough.
Well, you could see it, but you let Asa do all the shooting. Why didn't you help him out? Isn't that what a deputy's for?
I didn't expect to do no shooting. It happened pretty fast.
You went to stop two men who were robbing the express office, and you didn't think you'd have to shoot.
Sure I did. But Mr. Moran, he yelled in and told them to throw their guns outside. And they did that, and they come out.
He told them what?
Mr. Moran yelled and told them to throw their guns out. And to come out.
Come out with their hands up.
They was trying to fight us. That's how come he shot them.
Wow, without their guns.
Well, when the first one come out, he tripped. And it looked like he was going after that gun right enough. And it all happened pretty fast. Oh, you got me so mixed up.
Now, what are you mixed up about, Charlie?
About the two men at the express office. About how you shot it out with two men who had no guns. Now, that sounds a little different from the way you told it.
I told you, Adam, that weren't the way it was.
Well, I bet Judge Jackson would like to hear from you, too, how it really was. I bet he'd like to hear about Lou Palmer, too. Yeah, I'm sure he'd like to hear how it really was with Lou.
Now, wait a minute. You're not going to go talk.
You hit him pretty hard, Mr. Moran.
He asked for it. Now, let's cart his carcass over to the jailhouse. These poor cartwrights can't hold their liquor.
He's gonna be madder than a hornet when he comes to. I better get the key and lock him up.
No, Charlie. We're gonna leave this unlocked.
But he'll get out, Mr. Moran.
That's right. He'll get out. And when he does, he's gonna get killed, trying to escape. See, we gotta keep him quiet now, Charlie. And we're gonna keep him quiet for good and all.
Hey, Joe! What? Where are you off to such a rush?
Going into the jail to get at him.
What?
Yeah, Ace has got him behind bars in there.
Asa hit him over the head with a gun.
What? What are we doing standing here gabbing? Let's go get out of here. Come on.
Oh, wait a minute. Look, I'll go in there myself.
Paul, you against both of them?
I'm not going to be against anybody. Now, we're going to stick to the law, and there's all of us. You two wait out here.
Well, I think we ought to go...
I said wait out here. I'm just as mad about this thing as you are, but you're too dad-blamed hot-tempered, both of you. Here. Now, wait outside. I want to go in there.
Can't let you do that, Ben.
I want to see Adam.
Not in my jail.
Look, I'm his father. I have a right to see him.
Then you better get out of here before you get into trouble.
All right. I'll post bail for him.
No, sir. He's a hostile prisoner. Ain't nobody bailing out a hostile prisoner out of my jail.
Now, look, Asa. I'm told you hit him over the head with a gun. I'm told he's hurt.
No, he's all right. He's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah?
Good. Then you won't mind if a doctor sees him. I'll go get Doc Martin.
No. You ain't seen him. No doc has seen him. Nobody's seen him till I say so, and that's...
Listen to me, kid. Tony! Oh, you're a witness. He's attacking an officer.
Why are you doing this, Asa?
Just trying to keep the law like I was hired to do. Folks go breaking the law, I gotta deal with them the way I see fit.
You know my son's no lawbreaker.
He's obstructing an officer. Obstructing an officer and disturbing the peace.
You learn the words fast, Asa. Too bad you don't learn what goes with them. Well. All right.
Don't kill him, Asa.
Asa. Pull that trigger and I'll kill you.
All right, throw the gun over there on the floor. I was going to make sure Adam's all right.
Bitch, get the key and open the door.
Bob. Are you all right? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. You go look after Adam.
Hey, Joe. Yeah. Bring me the key to the store.
Any more?
You all right, Adam?
Oh, yeah. We better get him to the doc quick, Joe.
He's got a good crack on the head.
Adam, you all right?
You taking him out of here?
Take him to the doctor.
You take that prisoner out of here, I'm gonna be after you. I'm gonna be after you with everybody in town behind me.
You come ahead, Asa. We'll be at Doc Martin's house at the edge of town. You'll find us there.
I told you we ought to let them Cartwrights be. That horse like to kill me.
Will you stop yammering? I can hardly think.
Now we'll never get shut of those Cartwrights.
When I'm through, they'll wish they was shut of me. Now, will you get out of here so I can think?
I'm going down to the barber shop and have him put a leech on this eye. Judge Jackson.
What's happened here, Sheriff? It's all over town that you arrested Adam Cartwright.
I did. For obstructing an officer and disturbing the peace. And Ben Cartwright came in here with his two boys, jumped Charlie and me, and broke their brother out of jail.
Well, that certainly doesn't sound like the Cartwrights.
Well, that's the way it happened. I want a warrant for their arrest.
I don't know. This whole thing between you and the Cartwrights has gotten out of hand.
That's right, and the only way to set it straight is to jail him.
Now, I think we ought to let the whole thing cool down for a little while. Besides, Asa, I understand that you roughed Adam up pretty bad.
Oh, no. I was just performing my duty as a law officer.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm certain of that. But did it ever occur to you that his father and his brothers might be worried about him?
That ain't no excuse, and you know it ain't. Not for what they done.
No. No, you're right, it isn't.
Folks breaking the law have got to be brought to account. Now, Judge, I didn't ask for this job. But now that I got it, I got to do it as I see fit. That means going up against anyone who breaks the law, including the Cartwrights.
All right, Sheriff. But when you go after them, I go with you. To avoid any more violence. We've had too much of that already.
That's right. Now, let's make out those warrants.
Well, I should have stayed put like you told me. But I had a feeling Asa didn't have to kill those 2 men at the express office.
Oh, Adam, I've been a blamed fool. Just couldn't see Moran for what he really is. Some men, you just can't trust him with authority of any kind. That was our mistake, picking that kind of man.
Well, it's almost worth the headache to hear you admit that you're wrong for once.
What do you think?
She's going to be all right, but only because he inherited that thick Cartwright skull. You know he come mighty close to being killed.
Hope we didn't hurt him, not bring him in from jail.
Oh, no. You did right. Probably saved his life, judging from the treatment the prisoners get in that jail.
Paul, here comes Asa.
He said he'd have the whole town with him. He's got a good part of it right now.
Ben, you know there can't be a ruckus in here.
There isn't going to be any ruckus. Not in here. I'm going out there. You two stay here. If they get past me, you stop them.
I got warrants for your arrest, Ben. You and your boys. Stay inside.
Judge, did you issue those warrants? Yes. Yes, I did, Ben. You know, you were wrong in doing what you did, especially the jailbreak.
Yeah. I guess that was wrong.
There, you see? He admits it himself. Even you can't go against the law, Ben Cartwright. Even you ain't that big. Well, come on. What are we waiting for?
Hold on there. Judge, you say I was wrong and take my boy out of jail. Well, maybe that was a mistake, according to law. But what about that other mistake, the big one? The one that led up to all the wrong things that have happened in the town the last couple of days. What mistake was that, Ben? The mistake we all made when we pinned a badge on a man too weak to wear it. Now, is that the real cause for everything that's happened here since Sheriff Coffey left town?
Come on, we're wasting time listening to all this gab. Let's take him. You two, Hoss. Joe, you raise your hands. You're under arrest.
Charlie! Charlie, didn't you take an oath to uphold and enforce the laws of Virginia City according to your ability and your conscience? Didn't you, Charlie? Isn't that right?
That's right, Mr. Cartwright.
Well, why don't you tell us what you told Adam about those 2 men at the express office the other night?
Quiet, Charlie.
Oh, what's the matter, Asa? I think we should all hear what Charlie has to say. Are you afraid to let him tell us?
I don't have to stand for this. I'm not on trial here. I'm a law officer. I came here to arrest jailbreakers.
Why did you arrest Adam? Because he was talking to your deputy? Or because he found out that you killed 2 unarmed men?
That's a lie.
Is it?
You see what he's trying to do, don't you? He's twisting everything around, so I'm in the wrong and he's in the right. Judge, you give me those warrants.
No.
They've got to go to jail, and you know it.
Now, wait a minute. Is that the truth? Were those 2 men unarmed when Moran killed them?
That ain't the way it was. You tell him, Mr. Moran.
Don't get riled, Charlie.
I told everybody, just like you told me to tell everybody.
Shut up.
I told everybody how it looked like they were going to fight.
Shut up!
What are you afraid of, Asa? Afraid for people to know that you shot down 2 men in cold blood after they'd thrown their guns down? You afraid for people to know that you pistol whipped Lou Palmer? Never shot at one of these before.
You didn't shoot at the badge, Ben. You shot at the man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Well, Rosalie, thank you very much for the strudel.
You're welcome. Why don't you take some home to the boys?
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
I hope Hop Sing likes the crockery.
Oh, he'll like the crockery, all right. He'd better. Say, tell Mike we said hello.
Of course. He'll be sorry he missed you.
No, you better make it 3.
3. Well, it'll take maybe a month at least. What's the matter?
I don't know. It smells like something's burning.
Burning.
It's the crate.
Wow! Oh, Ben! Ben! Boy. You right? Oh. How tarnation did all this happen? Albert! How many times do I have to tell you? When are you going to stop those foolish experiments?
Ben, you all right? You are not hurt?
I'll live, Sam. I'll live.
Can I tell you how ashamed this makes me?
The boy didn't mean any harm.
Oh, Ben, that boy. Come. Sit right here.
Yeah, I hope I can sit.
Mr. Scientist, congratulations. You nothing to say to Mr. Cartwright?
Oh, Sam.
I'm sorry, sir.
It's all right, son. It's perfectly all right.
Excuse me, Ben, it's not all right. What if Mr. Cartwright had been seriously hurt?
What if he were not a friend?
I know, Papa.
You know, and still you do these things. Why?
I'm afraid it was partly my fault, Mr. Michelson. I gave him that book on astronomy.
And my lens works great, Adam. With the reflector, the telescope...
Lens, telescope. Why? To do what?
To look to the stars.
To look to the stars! But not to look close enough to see that you're endangering a friend. Go to your room. You know what we are, simple people. Immigrants. My wife makes strudel. I sell pots and pans. And yet the Lord has seen fit to send us an exceptional son.
Very exceptional. I don't know anybody around who could have made a telescope like Mike's.
You're a very lucky man, sir.
Lucky. Every day, Albert is more and more of a problem.
Well, don't worry about it. He'll be all right. He's got a good mind. He can be anything he wants.
Albert will be a scientist, a great scientist.
Dreams. They feed on them, he and his mother. To be a scientist, he must study. He must prepare for his dreams, not play in the streets.
Oh, Sam, why isn't the boy at school?
Ben, I must tell you, Albert has been expelled from school.
Expelled?
Well, why? What happened?
It seems our son fights with his classmates, fights with the schoolmaster. Mr. Norton told us he could no longer control the class if Albert remained in school.
It is only that he is impatient. There is so much he wishes to learn.
I never thought George Norton ever gave up on a student.
We do not feel that Mr. Norton is to blame. It is Albert.
He's at war with himself. And so he's at war with everyone. Come, let's have our tea, huh?
Here, Ben. One of the lesser evils of life in Washington.
No, thank you, not right now.
Well, what can I do for you?
Henry, I'd like a set of applications for West Point.
Well, aren't you pushing the age limit just a little bit? Who did you have in mind?
Well, young Albert Michelson. You know, Sam's boy.
Yes, I've heard of him. He's supposed to be quite bright.
Bright? I'll tell you something. That boy's not bright. He's brilliant. You know what that boy's doing? He's making experiments with light waves. Now, can you imagine at his age? The boy's way beyond his years.
I don't know, Ben. I don't think an appointment's possible.
Oh? Well, Henry, you know, Michelsons, they came a long way to get to Virginia City. That boy's education, well, means a great deal to them.
I'm sure that in the old country, members of the Israelite persuasion were denied a chance of an education. Indeed, of most anything else.
That's another reason I'd like the young Michelson boy to get a fair chance in this new country.
Well, I'm afraid he's out of luck, Ben. Both appointments are filled for this year.
Henry, isn't there anything that you could do?
What do you think he'd look like in a sailor's cap?
What?
Annapolis, the Naval Academy.
Annapolis?
In a couple of weeks, I'm having competitive examinations. If you really think this Michelson boy's qualified...
He'll make a very fine naval officer. I know he will.
Well, you wish him good luck. And you give him every bit of help you can scrape up.
What kind of help?
These exams are tough, Ben. Very tough.
If he were my boy, I'd sit him down and cram his head full of books right now.
All right. Oh, hello, Norton.
Inspection tour?
Well, just looking at this, it's gonna need some doing. It's painting.
Well, I wish more members of the school board took your interest.
Oh, I guess the men are pretty busy. They do the best they can. Well, actually, I came over to ask a favor of you.
Oh, certainly, Mr. Cartwright. Anything you say.
Well, wait till you hear now. Has to do with one of your pupils, young Albert Michelson. I was kind of surprised to hear you expelled him.
Well, it surprised me, too. I used to think there wasn't a student on earth that I couldn't handle. What's he up to now?
Well, he's not up to anything. It's me that's up to things. I thought I'd like to see him compete in the Annapolis exams. I understand they go pretty heavy on mathematics and history, and I kind of thought, well, you know, the boy will need some coaching.
No, sir. Nothing doing.
Well, it's not going to take all that time, just a week or two, and...
I wouldn't have him for a day or two. I'm sorry, Mr. Cartwright, but I have 56 youngsters in there to worry about, and I can't push them aside for a troublemaker like Michelson. Now, you can understand that.
Well, no, what do you mean, troublemaker? Young Michelson's not a bad boy. He's an intelligent youngster.
Well, there's no denying the boy's intelligence, but I have the good of the school to think about.
Well, of course you've got the good of the school to think about. What's it got to do with...
Mr. Cartwright, intelligence is one thing, and getting along with the people around you is quite another thing. Young Michelson has never learned that. Quite frankly, I don't know if he ever will. He's a dreamer, he's restless, and he thinks he's better than everyone else.
George, you admit the boy's bright. Now, all he needs is a little time and a little help.
Mr. Cartwright, that boy lives in another world. Now, I have used up all the time and help that I can afford to spend on Albert Michelson. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to clean these erasers.
Here we go.
Oh, buenos días, Senor Cartwright.
Is Adam here?
Sí, senor, he's inside.
Thank you. Adam?
Where you been, Pa?
Oh, I've been, Say, what do you think about young Michelson going to Annapolis?
You think he really has a chance?
Well, I don't know, but... Well, if there was a chance, do you think it'd be a good thing for him?
Be perfect. They have one of the best engineering faculties in the country.
You know, Representative Quince is holding open examinations in 2 weeks, and, well, do you think a Virginia City boy would stand a chance?
Well, he'd be competing against every bright kid in the territory.
Yeah. You know, I went by the school to see Norton. I thought maybe Norton help him brush up in the studies, but, well, that Norton thinks Mike's a troublemaker, won't have any part of him.
The smartest kid in town.
Yeah. Just the same, to get into Annapolis, he's going to need an awful lot of help.
What are you cooking up?
Well, I was just thinking, you know, you've got all those old college books just lying around doing nothing.
And why don't I just coach him, huh?
I thought you'd never suggest it.
I'll bet you did.
You really think he's worth helping?
Yeah, he's a special boy. He worries about things like the stars and light, what makes the world tick. And he worries about tomorrow.
Hey, maybe Sam would let him come out and stay with us at the ranch. Be good for the boy. And he'd have plenty of good, clean, fresh air to go with all that studying you're going to be helping him with.
Yeah, it might work. But I tell you, he's going to be quite a handful.
What do you think you boys were? You're talking to the man who raised 3 Cartwrights.
How we get that fence fixed up on the lower corral, Buff?
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Didn't lose a single bit.
Good.
Hey, how's he doing, Adam? How's it going, Professor?
Hi, Michael. Hey, what is all that stuff anyhow, Mike? Trigonometry. The science of
Navigate.
Hey, what are you gonna do? Navigate on the Ponderosa?
Not quite, but he's got himself a project.
It's an experiment. Oh, yeah?
In sound.
Yeah, what can you do with sound?
Measure it.
Oh, you must be joshing.
What do you want to do a thing like that for?
As a matter of fact, he could use a couple of volunteers.
Joe and me will help him, won't we, Joe?
Heck, yes, we'd be glad to help.
You might thank them.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Look at that funny-looking thing right there.
Looks like a tent on it.
I sure hope you know something about basic trigonometry. Oh, I can get stuff right off the sheet here.
Mike, I think it might be better if you went out and studied in your own room.
Boy, that kid sure is a bug on learning, ain't he?
You're not fooling. Every time I see him, he's got his nose buried in a book.
It wouldn't hurt you to bury your nose in a book occasionally.
That's right. Almost. All right, that's it.
There you go.
Mike, about how far is it from here to Haas? 880 yards. Exactly. Exactly? How do you know without pacing it off? I know. I know you know, but how do you know? Well, by taking any two angles of a right triangle, plus one of its sides, you can determine the length of any one of its legs. You can? Sure. Look, the line from where I was before to here is the base of a triangle, right? Right. All right. The line from here to Haas is the vertical leg. Oh, yeah. All right. We know this angle is 90 degrees. By taking the other angle, I placed Haas just as far away as I wanted. Exactly half a mile. And that's trigonometry, right? Yeah. Hey, let me look through here. Yeah. Looks pretty funny. Hey, now what are we gonna do now? You mean if we ever stop talking? Oh, hey, I'm sorry. All right. Tell Haas to get ready. One, two, three, now. I make between 2 and 3 seconds.
I'll make it 2.5.
How'd we do?
Pretty good. Works out to 1,056 feet a second.
That fast, huh? What does your book say, Adam?
1,100, that's pretty close.
Close. I think it's great. We really measured sound, huh, Mike?
Yeah, we really did, Haas.
Dogs.
Oh, as you know, sound travels. You've heard echoes before.
Yeah, but that's the first one I ever held in my hand, Joe.
Samuel, Mr. Norton.
Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Norton. Can I help you?
Yes. Oh, Mrs. Michelson. I just came in for a box of chalk. Small box.
Of course.
Mrs. Michelson, is there something on your mind?
My son, Mr. Norton.
Oh, yes, your son. Well, of course, I'm sure you realize how badly I feel about his leaving school.
He didn't leave, Mr. Norton. He was asked to leave. Why, Mr. Norton, why?
Rosalie, please. I'm sure having a student like Albert must have been difficult for Mr. Norton. Yes, Rosalie, most difficult. Mr. Norton has so much to think about.
Well, I'm pleased to see that you understand my problems. I understand your son is spending some time on the Ponderosa.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Norton. Mr. Cartwright and his sons, they want to help him pass his examinations.
Examinations?
Yes, Mr. Norton. For Annapolis, the United States Naval Academy.
Isn't that wonderful, Mr. Norton? Our son, Albert, a student at the United States Naval Academy?
Well, I'm afraid I can't agree, no.
Why, Mr. Norton? Why not?
Well, I'll try to explain it to you the way I explained it to Mr. Cartwright. Now, I'm sure you feel your son has great intelligence, but intelligence can be either good or bad. It just depends on how the person uses it.
Are you saying that our Albert would use his in a bad way?
I'm saying he would use it in a selfish way. Albert thinks only of himself. Other people mean nothing to him.
But that's not true. How you could say such a thing? Why, Mr. Norton? Why?
Why? Why do you think your son Albert is so special, Mrs. Michelson? Why do you think that you yourselves are so special? Why?
Morning chores done already?
Hey, I thought you and young Mike were going to spend the day at the lake.
Well, we were, but it got too cold. Besides, there was some reading you wanted to catch up on.
Yeah, it is cold out. How's the boy doing? Think he'll be ready in time for the test?
Studying as hard as he can. A little too hard, maybe.
You know, I thought it'd be a good idea for Mike to be out here for a while so you could coach him, but I also figured it'd be a good chance for him to see what the outdoor life was like, take advantage of the ranch, use his hands and muscles instead of just his mind.
Tell him.
Well, Paul, it seems the boy ain't too interested in the ranch. The thing he's interested in is books. I've never seen one for reading like that boy.
Well, maybe that's what's wrong.
What do you mean, Pa?
Mike's a bright boy. Very bright. Matter of fact, maybe he's too bright for his age. Knows much more than any of the other boys at school. He's way ahead of them, always talking about light waves, speed of sound.
Well, what's wrong with that? I think it's good that somebody's interested in those things.
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. But, well, maybe because he's so far ahead of all the others, he's bored with his regular schoolwork, so he buries his nose in those big books. The boy's got to realize that there's more to life than books.
Hello. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Mike? You boys finished your coffee? Can we get back to work now?
Well, I was afraid you were going to say that. Adam, we'll see you later.
Catch up on the reading?
Yeah. This is the book by that Frenchman, Fizeau.
Oh, yeah.
I think I like this one best of all, Adam.
Well, you do, huh? Why?
Why? You know what he's talking about in here? Measurement of the speed of light. That's what I'm going to do next.
Very good. I think you ought to slow down a while.
Slow down? What for?
Well, you've been working pretty hard at all this. You got to come down to earth, get your head out of the clouds once in a while. Well, books are fine, but...
Books are everything, Adam. Why, they're the keys that open door after door after door. You remember what I mean. We talked about it a lot.
I remember. But you don't learn everything in books, Mike. I think you got to learn a little bit about people. Listen to them, observe them, respect them.
All people do is talk and hate and get in your way. What good are they?
Mike, they're the most important thing of all. Without them, all the books, your brains, all the light, well, it might as well not even exist. Without people, There's nothing.
Why are you telling me this, Adam?
Well, Mike, getting to Annapolis is only half the battle. Once you get there, you gotta live there. Think about it.
Will the applicants for the Academy examination please step inside?
Good luck, son.
You got a pencil? Oh, they'll have plenty of pencils inside. Go ahead. Good luck, huh?
Jonathan Adams. It's someone else.
It can't be. It's not fair.
Albert.
It's Mr. Norton, Papa. He hates me. You know he does.
Albert, this is yours to accept. There's no reason to blame others.
No, Papa. I passed that examination. I know I did.
My son, you must learn what it is to be a man. And the time to begin is now.
Sam, we got some finding out to do. Come on.
Yes. Ben? Samuel?
Henry, Sam and I, we came here to talk to you about the Annapolis exam.
I'm awfully sorry, but I had no choice.
Now, what does that mean, you had no choice?
Now, Ben, this is a pretty big territory.
Well?
Well, Johnny Adams, the boy who made it, he's the son of a disabled veteran. Will you understand, Ben? I had to award him the appointment.
Of course. We understand.
Well, Henry, how high did Mike place?
Well, that's just it. Both boys tied for the highest honors. I'm awfully sorry, but there was only one opening.
Oh, Henry, that would be a pity, you know. Great mind like that boy has, and to lose it just because there's no room in the academy.
Now, Ben,
no,
don't...
But, well, just look at it now. Look at it truthfully. A young genius like that, lost to the world just because there's no room for him in the school.
Well, I suppose we could try to wangle a presidential appointment.
Presidential appointment?
Well, it's been known to happen. Of course, he's thoroughly qualified.
Yes.
But it would mean that we'd need all kinds of support. The town would have to be behind the boy.
Oh, there's no problem there.
You really think there's a chance for Albert?
Now, look, Sam, I wouldn't want you to go on counting on it. Let's put it this way. The sooner you two get out of here, the sooner I can write the letter.
Come on, Sam. Let's get out of here. Samuel, how are you?
Ben, Adam,
Say, is there any news yet from Washington about the appointment?
Nothing, Ben. Mr. Quince thinks we should hear any day.
Good. Now, where's Mike?
Where would he be? The livery stable, wasting his time.
I'll go over and say hello to him.
He's there almost every day, fooling with his experiments and reading those books.
Tell you what, I'll go see our friend Quince right now. All right? Now stop worrying.
Oh, so this is where you're hiding.
Oh, hi, Adam. No, I'm not hiding. It's just quieter up here. More private.
Hmm? So you're not neglecting your studies. That'll come in handy when you get to Annapolis.
Yeah. I've been rigging a new experiment, Adam, to measure light.
Light?
Yeah, you remember that book by the Frenchman?
Fizeau?
Yeah, Fizeau. Well, I think I figured out a way to measure light, too. Just think, Adam, if we could measure the speed of light, we could find out how far away the stars are, how old, their size. Maybe someday, if we knew enough, we might even travel to the stars.
Oh, now, hold on. You're way ahead of me. Why don't we just start with this thing right here?
Oh, well, this is simple. If by spinning this, I can break up a light reflected in that mirror, well, maybe I can measure its flashes, the speed of travel.
Sounds logical. Have you tried it?
No. I'm waiting for Miguel to get back to help me set it up.
Well, I'll help you take it down.
Oh.
You didn't fail me. That's wonderful. Adam, have you heard the news? Tell him. Come on, tell him.
The president will consider a special appointment for Albert Abraham Michelson.
Oh, Adam, isn't it wonderful?
We're not there yet, Rosalie.
Oh, he will be. He will be.
Of course, it means that most of the work is still up to us. I mean, we'll have to have letters and petitions.
Oh, we'll get those.
And the school teacher's formal endorsement, of course.
Just how important is Mr. Norton's endorsement?
Why, without that, we might as well forget the whole thing.
If we need the endorsement of Mr. Norton, may as well begin forgetting the whole thing right now.
Oh, come on, Sam. He's not going to stand in Mike's way. Norton isn't an enemy.
Isn't he, Ben? I hope you're right, my friend.
Would you please stay out of the way?
Well, he's at it again.
Yeah. We better find Norton before he leaves for home.
Yeah.
All right, take it, Miguel.
You all right, Mr. Norton?
No thanks to you, Michelson. If you can't control your son, why don't you keep him off the streets? The boy is a public menace.
I'm sorry, sir.
Just what did you think you were doing, boy?
Trying to measure the speed of light?
The speed of light. Just listen to him. Albert Abraham Michelson, the boy genius of Virginia City. Just who do you think you are, boy? What makes you so all-fired arrogant? Games, that's what he's playing, games. And you thought he'd make a naval officer.
He still might, Norton. There's a presidential appointment all set up for him.
Oh, really? Well, I hope you don't come running to me for help.
Mr. Norton, My son made a mistake. Yes, a large mistake. But does this make him any less qualified to receive an education? Does a single mistake make him any less deserving?
Deserving? Your son? After what he's done?
Mr. Norton, you're judging that boy as if he were a grown man. He's only 16 years old. He can't help being immature.
I'm just a little tired of everybody making excuses for that boy.
Now, he deserves that appointment. Look at the marks he got.
Mr. Cartwright, I can't do what I don't believe in. Or would you have me compromise my beliefs just because you ask it?
Adam?
We'll now study the 8 principal parts of speech. Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition, conjunction. Noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, preposition. All right. Who can conjugate the verb to be?
I am, you are, he is, we are, you are, they are.
Adam. You know what's going on up there?
Well, Mike's up there studying.
Oh, it's more than that. Mike's up there teaching. He's got a whole classroom of boys.
Well, how's this been going on?
Ever since my Miguel left school several weeks ago.
Miguel left school? Why?
Mr. Norton said he was a troublemaker, that he could not sacrifice his class for a boy like Miguel.
Well, what about the others?
They all left school at Mr. Norton's request.
Can't be. We've got to get to the truth of this.
The truth. Senor Cartwright, in Spanish there is an old saying, he who speaks the truth often talks to himself.
Yeah. Well, even so, Tonio, one must speak the truth.
I'd like to settle down. Be quiet now. The school board meeting is now called to order. Well, Ben, since this was your idea, maybe you can tell us what this meeting is all about. You all know Ben Cartwright. Ben?
Well, I guess there are many matters of importance that can be discussed at a meeting of this sort. But 3 years ago, I thought that George Norton was the best man to run our school. We all did. That's why we hired him. Since then, I'd always figured that we'd done the right thing. I was wrong. George Norton isn't fit to teach in Virginia City.
Are you lodging a formal complaint, Ben?
Yeah, I guess I am.
Well, what are your charges, Mr. Cartwright? I said, what are your charges, Mr. Cartwright? Let's hear them.
Just one charge, Mr. Norton. Bigotry.
Bigotry?
Quiet down, folks. Now, settle down, settle down.
That is ridiculous.
Bigotry is a mighty serious word, Ben. You sure you know what you're doing?
He'll do anything to get me fired. That's what he's doing. Why don't you tell them the truth, Cartwright? Why don't you tell them why we're really here? That boy there, he's the cause of all this.
No, he's only part of it.
No, sir. We would not be here if I'd help him get to Annapolis.
And why won't you do that, Mr. Norton?
I've already told you, Mr. Cartwright. I don't think he deserves to be a naval officer. Now, that is my opinion, gentlemen, and I am entitled to that opinion. Ben Cartwright or no Ben Cartwright.
Well, that sounds fair enough. What's the use of making more out of it?
Well, there is more. Here. Read those names.
Why, these are all boys that I've had to expel.
You mean those are boys you refuse to teach?
No, that's simply not true. These boys were troublemakers, like Michelson there. I had a right to expel them.
Are they all like Michelson? You'd better check.
Well, no, some of these boys are, well, we'll call them slow. They're children that simply don't belong in a classroom.
I see. So what you're saying is that the boys on that list are either too smart or too stupid to be in your school, is that it?
Those are your words, Mr. Cartwright, not mine.
All right, Adam. Folks, this is Miguel Garcia. He was born here in Virginia City. Miguel, will you tell us what you do every morning?
We go to school.
Where?
In my father's loft at the stable.
Why? They go to school every morning in his father's loft, in a stable, because they want to learn. Now, how come they couldn't learn from you?
You mean you sit there and go to school all by yourselves?
Oh, no, they managed to find a teacher.
A teacher? Who?
Albert Michelson. You really don't understand, do you? Well, you will. You all will. As I did, finally. Johnny Kwan. Peter Redhawk. Lee Singh. Antonio Rodriguez. Manuel Lopez. Look at them, Mr. Norton. What is it they have in common? They're different. They don't look like most people in this town look. They don't look like you. Their eyes aren't the same as yours. Their faces aren't the same. There's nothing familiar about the way they talk or look, or even the way they worship their creator. Well, they may be American, but they're not like you at all. They may be students, but they're not like all your other students. They're Mexicans, Orientals, they're Indians, an Israelite. Every one of them. Every one of them is different.
I see.
Norton. Where will you go?
Well, I don't know. Anywhere there's a school, I guess.
There is a school here in Virginia City.
But, Ben, you just finished.
Well, I don't quite know what to say. I've always believed all my life that the noblest thing a man could do was to teach. To take children and to help open their minds. What I didn't realize until just now was that first a teacher must make sure his own mind is open. Well, I can't begin to make up for what I've done by a few words of apology or explanation. The only way that I could possibly make it up to those whom I've hurt is as a teacher. If you would give me another chance, I would do my best, work as hard as I could to be a real teacher to your children. To all your children.
There's a little prejudice hidden in every one of us, whether we like to admit it or not. It isn't enough just to be against bigotry. It takes some doing to reach deep down inside yourself, dig it out, admit it, and face it down. I say that any man who can do that deserves another chance.
Let's put it to a vote. All those in favor of keeping George Norton as schoolmaster?
It is part of our faith that a man may atone for his mistakes and start again with a clear heart.
The Michelsons vote yes.
See, I vote yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for giving me this chance. Albert, I would be privileged to endorse your application for the Naval Academy. Besides, I think we'd all agree that this town would be a lot safer place if you were in Annapolis.
Congratulations.
Mr. Norton. Thank you so much. Ben, thank you.
In 1907, Albert Abraham Michelson, proud son of Virginia City, Nevada, was the first American citizen to be awarded the Nobel Prize for his precise measurement of the speed of light.
It's awful late, Paul. Don't look like nobody's up.
Somebody better be. I feel like I've been glued to that saddle.
Evening.
What do you want?
We, like to bed down our horses.
You fellas know what time it is?
Friend, we sure do. We've been riding since sunup.
I'm sorry. I'm not taking care of no stinking horses this time of night.
Wait a minute now. We'll take care of the horses. You just provide the 4 stalls.
All right. I gotta light some lamps for you.
I hope we don't have that much trouble getting rooms for ourselves.
Joe?
Yeah.
You help Hoss with the horses, and Adam and I'll go and see if we can get some rooms at the hotel.
Right, Pa.
Hey, Paul, it was a terrible long ride today. How's about a little drink before we turn in?
Yeah, especially after 3 weeks cattle drive. You buying, Pa?
Well, I guess I am, since I'm carrying all the money.
Hey, what would $30,000 worth of beer look like anyhow?
Well, that all depends. You mean in one big glass? Or lots of little ones?
One great beckin'.
Look, the only thing you boys are going to be drinking is water out of a pump. Come on, let's go to the hotel. Oh, which way is the hotel?
Halfway down the street if you can rouse there, buddy.
Thank you very much. Take care of the horses, Jim.
Right, Pa.
Now, you take it easy, Billy. We sent for the doctor and sheriff.
There were 3 of them. They all wore masks. They fired a shot at Henry there.
Yes, he's dead.
All right, Billy, we've organized a posse. Now, tell me what you can remember about them.
Like I said, they all wore masks and dusters. One was a big fella, another sort of medium, and a third one looked like a kid.
That's all? That's all you remember?
No, they stuck some money in the saddlebags.
Saddlebags? What kind?
They had a mark on them. Looked like a pine tree.
Sheriff, I know who those men are.
What do you mean, Artie?
Late last night, 4 men come into my liver stable, and I noticed that one of them had some saddlebags with a pine tree on it.
Well, where'd they go and how long ago?
They didn't go no place. Leastways, their horses were still there when I come running over here.
Tell you what, let's have some breakfast first, then we'll come back and finish up.
Ain't nothing like breakfast to show a change in a man, is it, Joe?
Yeah, about 10 pounds, I think.
You're the one, Sheriff.
Good morning, gentlemen. You going somewhere?
Morning. No, we're just going out to breakfast.
You men are new in town. What's your names?
Well, the name's Cartwright. These are my sons.
Those your saddlebags?
They certainly are. Why?
Well, they might be important.
Well, they're very important to us. Why should they interest you?
They interest me just enough to arrest you for robbery and murder.
Now, that's not a very good joke.
There's nothing funny about shooting an old man down in cold blood.
Now, wait a minute. Now, we just got into town late last night. We've been at the hotel sleeping. We just came out.
Good. You can tell the whole story at your trial.
Wait a minute, Sheriff.
Shut up, son. Take off that belt. The rest of you do the same.
Now, look, you must be mistaken, Sheriff.
We'll find that out soon enough. Stan, get their guns. Take those saddlebags and bring them along to the office.
Now, there's a lot of money in those saddlebags.
Yeah, we know. All right, let's go.
What are you gonna do, Sheriff? Let him get away with it?
Wait a minute! Wait a minute! These men are murderers! They just murdered an old friend of yours. Henry Payne has lived in this town for 20 years! All right, now, you all know what a nice old man Henry Payne was.
One of the best.
Well, what are you gonna do about it? I say jail is too good a place for these murders!
Now, you listen to me. There'll be no lynching. Not in this town, as long as I represent law and order. These men are gonna get a fair trial. If they're proven guilty, they'll be punished.
I say forget the trial. Let's hang him now!
You. How about you? And how about you, Artie? How would you like the responsibility if later these men are proven innocent? All right. There'll be a trial over at the saloon tomorrow. I'll talk to the judge and have him get a jury. If any of you try to break into my jail, I'll arrest you and throw you right into a cell along with these men. Get on about your business. Come on inside to be safer.
Now, look, Sheriff, I think we're entitled to some kind of an explanation.
Inside. Inside. I'll explain all you want.
Hey, Sheriff.
Yeah?
You come here a minute?
I'll be right back.
I want you to look at something. Look at all this beautiful money. Now, what did I tell you? Just like I heard him say, $30,000.
He sure was right, wasn't he, Sheriff?
Yeah. Well, take care of it. I'm going to finish questioning the prisoners.
We'll do that, Sheriff. We sure will do that.
$30,000, Sheriff. That's an awful lot of money, ain't it?
Yeah. It sure is. Cartwright, where'd you get all that money we found in your saddlebags?
I've been telling you, Sheriff. We drove our cattle to market, and we were on our way back to Virginia City to deposit the money there.
You got a bill of sale for the cattle?
Well, certainly I've got a bill of sale. There.
Well, it looks legal enough to me.
Now, Sheriff, would it make any sense that anybody with that kind of money would have to rob a bank?
No. No, I gotta admit it doesn't seem likely. But I'm gonna have to check the serial numbers of these bills against those stolen from the bank.
Good. And that'll prove exactly what I've been telling you. Frankly, Sheriff, I was beginning to worry a little about...
If you're innocent, you got nothing to worry about. Tomorrow, we're going to give you a fair, fast trial. If you're proven innocent, you'll all be on your way.
Well, if you're going to check the serial numbers, why have the trial?
For your own protection. The town's pretty riled up about the death of old Henry Payne. Without a trial to prove your innocence, you still might not get out of this town alive.
Got a real nice town here, Sheriff.
Same as any other town, son.
Well, Sheriff's right, Joe. Anyway, we don't seem to have any choice about matters.
Don't worry. By this time tomorrow, you'll all be on your way, probably.
You know, without that bill of sale, we would have been pretty hard-pressed to prove we didn't take that money.
Yeah, that's going to be the key to open that door for us.
Well, I think we're going to be all right. That sheriff's no weakling. See the way they handle that mob out in the street?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, let's get ourselves as comfortable as we can be in here.
Yeah. Wake me when breakfast.
Dad, come it. All right, clear the way, clear the way. Grab yourself a seat somewhere. On your feet, take off your hats. Court of Alkali is now in session. Judge Jackson presiding. Sit down.
Jury is ready, Sheriff. Produce your first witness.
Billy Tyler to the stand.
No, sit down, son, over here. You swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Tell the court what happened in the bank.
Well, there's not much to tell, Judge. These three men came in with masks on and guns out and forced us to open the safe. Then they tied and gagged us, and then they went over to the safe and started taking the money out and putting it in a saddlebag.
Can you describe the bag, Billy?
Yeah, it was just kind of an ordinary leather saddlebag, except that it kind of had a pine tree brand burned into the side of it.
Pine tree brand? What do you mean by that?
Well, it was just kind of a pine tree brand.
Bag like that, Billy?
Well, yeah, that's it. And that's the pine tree.
Order. Order, please. I see. Well, go ahead, Billy. What happened then?
Well, then they moved toward the door, and then one of the men turned around and shot Henry Payne dead.
What? All right, hold it. Order here. Billy, can you describe these robbers?
Only that they were different in heights. One was a great big fella.
You see the prisoners here. Do they fit your description of the bank robbers?
Yeah. Only though there was only three of them in the bank, though. Though maybe the gray-haired fella might have been keeping lookout on the outside.
Well, we didn't ask you that, Billy. You just stick to the things you saw.
That's all I saw after they killed Henry. Then they just ran out, and next thing I knew, some people were busting in and untying me.
All right, thank you, Billy. You may step down.
All right, quiet, order. Quiet or I'll throw you all out.
You have merely established that the height of the robbers might match the height of the prisoners, and that the prisoners had a saddlebag marked with a particular brand, the same that the robbers used. But that is not positive nor sufficient proof. Sheriff, have you got another witness?
Yes, I'd like to call one of the prisoners as a witness. Mr. Cartwright, will you step forward?
Oh. Now we're flying up.
You swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I first met Mr. Cartwright in the livery stable shortly after the robbery. How long had you been in town, Mr. Cartwright?
Well, we got into town late the night before last. We stayed in the hotel all that night, and we met the sheriff at the stable yesterday morning.
And you told me you hadn't even heard of the robbery.
That is correct.
When I arrested you, did you have that bag with you?
Yes, of course. My son Adam was carrying it. Contained a fairly large amount of money which we'd received from the sale of our cattle.
How much money would you say was in that bag, Mr. Cartwright?
Sheriff, I can tell you exactly how much money was in that bag. $30,000.
How much was that sum that was stolen from the bank, Sheriff?
Exactly $30,000.
Order! 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 Order, please!
Of course, this could be a coincidence, Judge. If Mr. Cartwright had $30,000 of his own, it would seem silly that he would try to steal an equal amount, risk his own life and those of his sons. However, I have a witness that I think will clear things up for us. Thank you, Mr. Cartwright. That's all, Mr. Cartwright.
Well, Sheriff,
That's all, Mr. Cartwright. Mr. Mason of the Alkali Bank, would you please step forward?
You swear to tell the truth, help you God?
I do. Mr. Mason, you're the president of the Alkali Bank?
I am.
Did my deputy bring you a saddlebag full of money yesterday?
He did.
Did I ask you to check the serial numbers of that money against those stolen from the bank?
You did.
What were your findings?
The numbers compared exactly with the bills stolen from the bank.
Order, please.
Your Honor, Mr. Mason, that can't possibly be. You see, that money was ours. We got it from the sale of our cattle.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cartwright. I also checked those serial numbers. There's no doubt that it was the stolen money.
Now, look, Sheriff. Your Honor, I gave this man a bill of sale, a copy of a bill of sale that proves that it was
No tricks,
our money.
no tricks, mister.
What tricks?
I never saw a bill of sale.
He gave you a bill of sale.
Order, please. The verdict is already very clear to me, but we must leave it to the jury to decide.
We already come to a decision. They're guilty of robbery and murder.
Order. The defendants have been found guilty, and I hereby sentence them to be hanged tomorrow morning at sunup.
Why wait till tomorrow? Let's do it now!
I'll get him, Sheriff. Come on, go with me.
Don't worry, Cartwright. Stan will get your kid. You've had your fast fair trial. Put him back in the cell.
You can't get far on foot. Spread out.
that was supposed to catch him. What do you mean he disappeared?
Well, I'm telling you, that's what happened. When his horse run away, I knowed he had to be in that clump of trees, but he wasn't. Then the posse combed that clean.
Did you look up into the trees? You know, he just might have climbed up into it.
Well, of course I looked into the trees. What do you think I am?
I think you're stupid. That's what I think.
All right, that's enough. Besides, there's nothing you can do. His family got a fair and square trial by a judge and a jury. If he comes back to town and tries to make any trouble, he'll get a rope, just like the others.
That's right. There's nothing he can do, is there, Sheriff? What did I tell you? Didn't I rightly tell you? And it worked. Slicker than greased ice. Even though you was afraid to take the gamble.
Shut up, Artie. Things aren't over yet.
No, they will be in the morning, Sheriff. Just a few more hours.
You're a great one for big ideas, aren't you, Artie boy? The only trouble is that you forget the little details that foul up those big ideas. Stan. This saddlebag that we copied, you forgot all about it. I told you to get rid of it. Now go out and bury it somewhere.
All right, Sheriff, I'll take care of it.
You hear what the sheriff said? Boy, he sure is a dummy. He's too dumb to handle all that money, Sheriff. Maybe he should fall down and die.
Enough of that. We've done enough harm to this town already.
I was just talking out loud. Tell you what. How about me mixing us a drink? Celebrate?
Artie, I've told you to stop counting your chickens.
I can't help that, Sheriff. I can't help that. This money is going to get me so far away from that liver stable and the stink and the smell of them horses. Here, does, Sheriff. To me and my big ideas, and to you and your careful details.
Of course, you realize that after their testimony this morning, the Cartwrights are onto the whole plan.
What difference does that make? They're going to hang tomorrow morning. Now, there's nothing they can say to anybody that's going to change that.
Yeah, I know, but I still wish Stan had caught the youngest one.
Forget about it. Come on, have another drink.
Nah. It's bad luck to celebrate. Besides, I got to feed the prisoners.
Let me do that. I'd sure like to do that, Sheriff.
Why would you like to do that?
I just kind of like looking at men that know they're going to die in a few hours, that's all.
You're a strange one, Artie. Okay, go ahead.
Mealtime. If you'll just step back against that wall there, I'll give you some grub.
Aren't you the man who runs the livery stable where we put up the horses?
Yes, sir. That's me.
Wait a minute. What are you doing around here?
Well, I earn a few extra dollars working for the sheriff every now and then.
Oh, yeah. Say, how'd you like to earn a lot of extra dollars?
What do you mean, sir?
I don't want the sheriff out there to know, but, I gotta send a telegram.
Oh. I don't know, Mr. Cartwright. Now, that'll be aiding a prisoner. Now, that ain't right.
Well, it wouldn't be right if we were guilty, but we're innocent. Now, it's not gonna harm anybody just to send a telegram, is it?
Well, how are you gonna pay me any money when the sheriff took it all away from you?
Well, he didn't take it all. I got some... I got about $50 here.
How's that sound? Well, why don't you go ahead and write out the telegram, and I'll stand here and think about it. Whew, this is a territorial governor.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a mighty important message, ain't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think I better send this a special way.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'll send this a little bit at a time. That way, I think they ought to be getting.
They'll be here any time. Good. Now, all you men know what I want you to do. But I want you to remember that the men that are holding my pa and brother's prisoners are lawmen. We may have to use guns. If there's anybody here that wants to turn back, I'll understand. I know my family will, too.
All these men feel exactly the way I do. Just let us know what you want us to do.
Thanks. All right, I'm going to ride ahead in Alkali and see what's happening. Rest of you wait here until Bob's men arrive, then follow me in. I'll meet you on the outskirts of town. You wait there until I contact you. And thanks.
Good luck.
I only knew Joe was all right.
It's funny. We're in here worrying about him, and he's out there someplace worrying about us.
Well, I'm sure if anything can be done, Joe will do it.
Sure. He's a pretty smart kid.
I sure ribbed him a lot. I hope he knows I didn't mean it.
I'm sure he does, son.
Good evening, gentlemen. How's everything?
What about my son, Joseph?
We didn't catch him, but that doesn't make any difference. There's nothing you can do.
Oh, yes, there is. Even if we die, he'll be back. May take him a week, month, but he'll be back. He'll get the whole pack of you.
He's not gonna get nobody. By tomorrow, there'll be wanted posters with his name on them plastered all over this country.
You know he's right. Your boy's lucky if he lives out the week.
Does it make you feel better being a rich murderer?
I'm just doing my duty as sheriff. Tomorrow I hang some bank robbers. Then the town will know I'm still doing my duty.
How are you going to explain your sudden wealth?
I don't have to explain anything. The bank got its money back and the town didn't lose a thing. Now just stop worrying about me. You've only got a few hours left. Don't waste them.
Strange the things a man thinks of when he knows he's going to die.
Like what, Al?
I was thinking about the time that Joe took all those guys hand wrestling at the Bucket of Blood. And you and me had bought him all rounds of drinks to let him do it.
We never did tell him, did we?
No.
You do think of silly things.
What?
Oh. Like how green the grass gets in the springtime. The snow in the winter. All the things we take for granted every day. Just silly things.
I don't think they're so silly, Hoss. Things that God gave us. Not so silly.
Wonder where everybody is.
Come on, Stan, relax. They probably went to bed early so they could be up in time for the hanging.
Yeah, I know, but I still don't like it. You heard what Cartwright said about that kid of his, didn't you?
Yeah.
How do we know he's not out there someplace pointing a gun at us right now?
He's one kid against the whole town. Once those posters are out, he won't stand a chance. So stop your worrying, will you, Stan? Go out and make your rounds the same as always. I don't want tonight to be different than any other night. After all, we do have a community to protect.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and make my rounds as usual, and then I think I'll turn in.
Good. See you bright and early in the morning.
Right. Evening, Joyce. Mind if I sit down?
You might as well. The room's full of empty chairs.
It's not going to be much longer now, Joyce. In just a little while, I'm going to take you out of here.
You know, Stan, I get tired of hearing that. What's it been now? 3 years. And I'm still standing in this place 8 hours a night trying to get people like you to buy drinks.
Well, I know you shouldn't have to do that, Joyce, and you're not going to do it much longer. I'm going to see to that.
Oh, stop it, Stan. You're full of talk, talk, talk. Find someone else and leave me alone.
Well, if you saw the money, then would you believe me?
You show me the money and I'll believe you.
All right. I'll show you the money tomorrow.
there's no sign of him. Whatever Joe does now, he's gonna have to do it in front of the whole town.
Yeah. Unless they already caught him.
Looks like everybody's turned out for the show.
People's gotta be sick to enjoy a hanging.
You men have about 10 minutes. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yeah. Open that door and come in here alone for just about a minute.
I'm glad to see that you still have a sense of humor. You know, it's going to be hard to hang brave men.
I can't figure him out. Seems proud enough of being a sheriff. Yet he's gonna do something like this for a few measly $1,000 that he'll get after they split it up.
Did you find him?
Nope, no sign of him anywhere.
Did you look over in the saloon? He's always over there mooning over that girl, Joyce.
Yeah, I looked there. I talked to the girl. She ain't seen him. What's more, she don't give a hoot if she ever does. Now, Sheriff, I looked all over town. He's nowheres.
He's nervous about this whole thing. When the Cartwrights told him the kid had come back and killed all of us, he sort of believed it.
He's as scared as he is stupid. Never should have dealt him in on this. I've been telling you that.
I know what you've been telling me. You sure you ain't been doing something more than just talking?
You mean, did I kill him? No, Sheriff. I must admit the thought did cross my mind, but, no.
I was just wondering.
Oh, Stan will be back here.
Yeah.
After this thing is all over, he'll be back with his hands reaching out for his share. And the first thing he's gonna do is take and blow the whole thing on that girl, Joyce.
What he does with it's his own business. He took a gamble, the same as you and me. I don't care what either one of you do with the money.
That's because you ain't been running a livery stable for the past 10 years. You don't hate horses like I do. Boy, I'm gonna get me so far away from those...
I've heard all of that before, so shut up, will you, Artie? Well, the sun's well up. Better get the prisoners.
Let me help you.
Why, Artie? Why do you want to do that?
Oh, Stan ain't around. Somebody's got to give you a hand.
You kind of like all this, don't you, Artie?
Sure I do. Why not? Besides all that money, it's going to be fun watching them hang.
We're going to need some help. I'll have to go out and deputize a few more men. You stay out of there, Artie. You stay out of there till I get back. All right, let's get on with it. Put the ropes on.
All right, hold it. You're not going to hang anybody, Sheriff. Unless you want to see your deputy hang, too.
That won't do you any good, Cartwright. You've already killed one man. You want another man's life on your conscience?
Speaking of conscience, I think your deputy has a few things to tell the people of Alkali.
The three of you got a fair trial. There's nothing you can do. You're one man against the whole town.
Just one man? I think you better count again, Sheriff.
an ugly bunch, ain't they pretty?
Yeah.
Now, nobody moves, nobody gets hurt. We're gonna have another fast, fair trial this morning, just like the one you gave my family. I'd like to call my first witness, your deputy, Stan Mays. All right, Stan, tell him who shot the teller. Tell him who killed the teller. Tell him, or so help me, I'll hang you right here.
It was Artie.
Say it louder.
It was Artie. Don't pay any attention to him. You can't listen to the word of a man whose life is being threatened.
Shut up, Sheriff. I'm not through with the trial yet. I want to show you my first bit of evidence. Saddlebags with a pine tree brand. It's like the one you have in your office, Sheriff. Only Stan and I dug this one up behind the blacksmith shop. You recognize it, Artie? You ought to. They belong to you.
No.
No! All right, drop the gun, Sheriff, and stand right where you are. Oh, stinking horse.
Looks like my deputy and Artie had a pretty good plan worked out. I'm certainly glad we found out the truth in time. All right, you men are free to go. We're sorry about the mistake that we all made.
Not yet, Sheriff. The trial's not over just yet. Now, don't you remember what you said about that trial? About the serial numbers on those bills found in our saddlebags matching the ones stolen from the bank.
That's right. That's right, I did. But it's quite obvious that my deputy and Artie here were the ones who switched the stolen money. I never dreamed that they were the ones that robbed the bank. Well, look, you know, I've been your sheriff for a long time. You all know me well enough to know that I couldn't have anything to do with a thing like this. Well, it's true, isn't it? I've worked hard for this town.
Let's take a look in your safe, Sheriff.
Safe? What are you talking about?
You heard what he said. Let's open it and take a look.
Now, what possible reason could there be for doing that?
Simple. If our money's in that safe, it means you put it there. And you knew it was there all along.
I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide.
Well, Sheriff, if you have nothing to hide, you won't mind opening your safe.
All right, we'll open the safe. That'll make you happy. The money's in the safe, just as they said it was. Stan and Artie and I, we stole it. And we put the blame on the Cartwrights.
But why? We don't understand. You've been a good sheriff for us for a long time. Why, if you needed money, you could have come to any number of us.
That's just it, Harry. I didn't need it. Stan and Artie, they had their reasons for wanting the money. Me, I wouldn't have known what to do with it.
Well, a little Oh, brother, I don't know when I was gladder to see you.
Yeah, what took you so long?
Ugly-looking things, ain't they?
Depends on where you're standing.
Well, they don't look so bad from down here.
I don't know about you fellas, but I don't want to hang around here.